Why does it look like I'm filming with a toy car behind me? Hilarious. Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new Lucy on Cars. I almost didn't know how to intro this channel just then because it's been so long since I uploaded a video. Sorry about that, but I am back, and today's video I am finally showing you the car that I've been keeping a secret in my garage for the last year. I've been on a big trip, been travelling around Asia. We've done Japan, Malaysia, Singapore, all these amazing countries, Philippines, and now we're back for UK Christmas, UK winter. We're feeling freezing right now. We're definitely adjusting to the temperature, but yeah, excited for today's video. So welcome back to the channel. If you are new around here, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy it today. So this is our secret car that's no longer a secret. So this behind me is the Lotus ELAN SE. It's a 1.6 litre petrol engine. Hello, are you joining us in the video? Oh my goodness. That's the fan kicking in. She got rather jealous that I was talking about her. Yes, so this is a car that has been in George's family for many years. It belonged to George's uncle. It was his total pride and joy, and very sadly he passed away, and it was passed down to George. So technically it's not my car, it's very much George's car, but it's in our garage. I'm very lucky that I get to drive it. There's a huge, strong family connection, and it's a very, very special car. So I wanted to introduce you guys to it today on the channel because I feel like it's been too long that I haven't spoken about it. Yeah, where was I? Before the fan kicked in, where was I? Yes, so this is it's known as the M100. So this car was off the road for many years. It was in a garage, George's dad's garage, and basically George was given the opportunity of either we sell the car or you pay to get the work done and you get to keep it. So we went for option B. Luckily it didn't need too much work. It needed some new tyres. The brakes have all been reconditioned, so it needed some work on the brakes. They're still not the sharpest brakes, but it's not what you expect in a car like this, so that's all good. It's all part of it. New gear cables, new cam belt. The engine was actually in very good nick. It didn't need much work on the engine. Obviously it had its servicing all done, but it's a Japanese Isuzu engine. Running very well, very reliable. We've just been in Japan and I can tell you how efficient things are there, and it's certainly reflected in this car, but huge amount of fun to drive. We're going to take it for a spin in a second and I'm going to show you guys and give you a bit of like a review on the car today. If you enjoy learning more about this car or seeing me talk about it and drive it, please let me know if you want some more videos, or is it a one and done? Are we just going to do the one video with this car and then move on to something else? As you guys know, I'm still on the hunt for another Range Rover, and now we're back in the UK, that hunt can resume. There's quite a lot out there at the moment, so yeah, make sure you, as always, keep sending me messages on Instagram, send me emails, comment on this video, whatever you like, and help me find my next car. But anyway, back to this. So in terms of the styling of this car, I absolutely love how it looks. It kind of reminds me of a little Hot Wheels car or something. It looks like a toy car. I think I look quite ginormous standing next to it. It's I mean, I'm quite tall. I'm 5'8.5", so I'm quite tall, but still, it really is a very, very tiny car. We've got some tiny little 15-inch wheels on it. Gold brake calipers, very cool. The tyres aren't particularly low profile. It's very much in keeping with that kind of 90s look, I think, and how I think of a 90s car. There's still a little bit of work we want to do to it, and you can see like the paintwork, it's not perfect. There's a few little scratches here and there on the wheels, so there's definitely some work we want to do to it. But yeah, I think it's a very, very cool looking car. It's got a nice little curve in here, so I don't know if you're gonna, can you see it from there, George? Yeah, so yeah, beautiful curves, and it kind of bulges around the back wheel arch here. Really beautiful shape. There's like a built-in spoiler as well, and then we've got the glass that covers the light, again makes it look quite retro, and these lights are actually from a Renault, believe it or not. But yeah, very cool looking car, very smooth, very rounded. I've even got one of these funny objects. I can't tell you what it does. I don't know what I've never seen one of these before. Must be from the past, but yeah. I know I mentioned earlier in this video, we are now on the hunt for another car. Today's video is sponsored by Carly, that is going to assist me in this search. Carly effectively helps everyday drivers like you and I have access to manufacturer level diagnostics. It effectively gives someone looking to purchase a used car more control. You're able to actually see a little bit more detail and get an in-depth report on the health of the car. It gives you transparency and confidence when purchasing a car in seeing things like the service schedule, but also if you have a car that you have issues with and faults with, you can diagnose them yourself at home. Inside our little box here, we've got the actual device, and I'm going to plug it into the OBD port in the car. Okay, so I've plugged it in. We're now turning on the engine. Done. Hybrid car, you can't hear it. I promise it's on. It's literally plug and play, so easy to use. I'm hoping there's not loads to report back on this car, to be honest with you. There's a ton of different things you can see here. We can analyze and repair car issues in the diagnostic. We can do a used car check, so you can detect things like tampering with mileage. message. Very, very naughty, but we can catch you out. And there's even like customization, so code and customize your car in minutes. So there is a huge list of manufacturers that this will work with. So it's not just BMWs, it's not just Range Rovers. So I'm gonna go into diagnostics to begin with. Check for issues. 47% done, and they've already found 40 issues. That's worrying, isn't it? It's basically a brand new car. They even have expert repair guides with a smart mechanic feature in the app, so you can learn to do things yourself, which I think part of car ownership for me is getting hands-on in some ways. Not all the ways, but in some ways. Okay, very bad. We've got a big red light. It seems like a lot of these issues are things that can be quite quickly cleared, so I can literally clear the issues within the app. But there's a lot more issues than I was expecting to find. So it just shows the pure level of detail that you get here. When you buy a used car, even if it looks like it's running very well, you never know what you're going to find. Huge thanks to Carly for sponsoring this part of the video. We're going to head back to the Lotus now in the freezing cold. I'm not going to lie, I have been enjoying this heated seat, so feel free to check them out if you want to be even more involved with your own car ownership, or if you're like me, you're looking for a new car. So definitely going to be taking this along with me for viewings. If any of you guys are interested in purchasing one, you can use the code on the screen right now, because you will save some money. And let's spin back to the Lotus. So obviously this was slightly controversial at the time, because there was the ELAN in the 60s, very, very popular car. Then they bought this out, which was like the new ELAN, and it was a bit of a love-hate, I think. I guess some of the more traditional ELAN lovers from the 60s are thinking, what on earth's going on here? But it's definitely brought a new fan base, I suppose, to Lotus through this car. It was a huge change in direction for Lotus at the time, but they wanted to bring out an affordable sports car. And brand new, I think these were going for around about 20 to 25,000. Right now, this is probably worth maybe, I mean, a few years ago, it was worth around 14,000. I haven't actually looked recently. So they're holding their value quite well, and I do think that they're going to increase in the future. They've been sort of rising and dropping slightly over the years. But the really interesting thing about this is that it is front wheel drive. So it's not what you would expect from your usual sports car, which obviously for the purists, they weren't so sure about. But when the reviews came out, this car was really known for its exceptional handling, and it ended up gaining an incredible reputation. But without further ado, let's get in the car. I'm talking a lot about a car that you have not seen me drive yet, so let's hop in. I suddenly thought I was doing something illegal then when the police walked past. I suddenly was like, walked past, drove past. I was suddenly like, oh, sorry, am I allowed to do this? I think I'm allowed to film a video in the road. It's not illegal, is it? It's like when you go to the airport and you go through immigration and you suddenly think, am I a criminal? Have I done anything wrong over the last few years, or are they going to let me through? So far, so good. Whoa! Love the noise it makes. Okay, taking her out, we're on the road. It's a very chilly day today. We're wrapped up warm, and I have to say, having the roof down is lovely for a bit of fresh air, but I'm absolutely freezing, and I need to invest in some lovely leather driving gloves. This car is very much known for its handling. Front wheel drive, very controversial for Lotus when it first came out. The main competitor at the time when this came out was the Mazda MX-5, rear wheel drive, a little bit cheaper, so this was definitely a bit controversial. And because of that, it meant that it wasn't too popular when it was launched. They didn't sell too many. At the time, it may not have been deemed as a huge success, but it does mean now that it's a bit more of a rare car, and within the community, they are incredibly popular and very well looked after, it seems. There's quite a big Lotus ELAN community out there, and you don't see too many on the road. Quick fact check, the top speed in this is 137 miles an hour. It's 165 brake horsepower. No, it's not. It's 163 brake horsepower, and the 0 to 60 time in this is 6.6 seconds. So it's nothing completely crazy, but at the time, still pretty quick. And considering the engine size is only 1.6 litres, this thing really can go, and we'll try that out in a bit. It has got a turbo, and it's made from fiberglass, so it's obviously a lot lighter. That definitely helps with the speed. So yeah, despite it being only a 1.6 litre, which doesn't sound crazy, it's definitely got a bit of welly. If I give it some uphill here, like we're going uphill, and it's fast. It's really quick, and it's a fun kind of fast. It's not so fast that it overwhelms you and you can't do anything with it. You can fully use this entire car's power. I'm going to throw it into this corner a little bit now, come down gear a little bit, and the handling is just crazy. It's amazing. It just sticks to the road. It's a very small package, this car. It's all very tight within itself. Our garage at home isn't huge. We're lucky actually, we've got quite a small car to go in it. So yeah, there's so much to do with this car. It's a small package, you can throw it around corners because it's small. It's a tight little car that you can use its full potential with. I think when I used to work at BMW, I remember like an M car, for example, an M4, it's so fun to drive, it's amazing, but you're never really, unless you're on a track, you're not really giving it the credit it deserves. But with this is definitely a car that you can drive on the road exactly how you'd want to drive it, use the full brake horsepower, use the full potential, and still stay within the speed limits. Oh, what was that about this being a small car? It's being made in 1992. This car really feels like a 90s car inside. It's quite plasticky in the best way. We've got the dials along here. It's all very simple. It's not trying to be fancy. It's not trying to be too I guess it's not trying to be luxurious. It's just like a classic 90s interior. We've got a very simple gear stick here and handbrake. All the buttons, I don't know, this just reminds me of my childhood. It reminds me of sitting on my dad's lap driving a car in a car park at 5 years old or however old I was. But you can tell it's a sports car because you get these very cool retro dials. So we've got a boost dial, which actually isn't working right now, purely for show at the moment. Oil pressure, and then your voltage just here for the battery. So they're the sort of things that in a car in 2023 you wouldn't need, like your battery voltage like on display, like the first thing you see when you get in the car. You really wouldn't need that. It would be somewhere hidden within the computer. However, I love it, I'm here for it. It feels like a cockpit. It's very analog. Steering wheel I absolutely love. It's again quite simple, but it's got good grip. It's not too thick at all. It's leather with the nice stitching work in the inside, and I quite like how smooth it is on the front. We've got the little Lotus badge here and a classic horn. All these cars nowadays, you've got like a weird button here to press for a horn, or like something up here. Like, I love that it's just classic. It's pretty much now deemed a classic car, only just. And then even here, this every car should have this, right? So the amount of times you have something that doesn't fit in, is it raining?
Don't know, maybe.
Oh George, it's raining. Oh dear, we need to be quick. The amount of cars that I've driven that you can't fit in your little side pocket. These are elasticated leather side pockets, so effectively you can fit anything you want in there. My phone fits obviously nicely in there, but you could fit a whole water bottle in here. I think they're ahead of their time. This is a kind of flexible side pocket. You don't have one size. Other brands, take note of this. I reckon this is the future of motoring. Handles are beautifully clunky and small, and even when you close the door, it's like a big solid clunk. It's not a smooth, luxurious, soft closed door. It's a big clunk that shakes and vibrates the entire car because it's so light. And I have to say, when you're driving it, it does feel quite shaky as well, because you really are just sitting flat on the road. You're so low down, and it really feels like a sports car when you're driving it. So something that was in the reviews when it first came out was, it's not got the tightest of gear changes. There was quite a funny review that said it was equivalent to moving floppy flowers around in a vase, and I have to say, it's definitely not the tightest. However, it's character. I don't mind it personally. It's got quite a long throat, but this car I think it's the sort of car that just likes to be in the higher rev ranges. So if we push it a little bit here, like that's just crazy. Like, it really does not feel like you're driving a 1.6 litre engine. It's just got so much power. It's so ready to go, and like I said, it's just so usable. And I think my favourite part about driving this car is how you can just use its full potential on normal everyday roads around where we live. It is quite noisy, especially obviously with the roof down. Even with the roof up, it's got a cloth roof, so I overlay a little photo here so you can see it with its roof up. The only downside with having the roof up, I find, is it feels very closed in and it's very dark. There's really not much visibility at all. It feels very closed in, so even if it's freezing cold, even if my hands are numb right now for this video, you're welcome guys, I would way rather have the roof down. Even in the cold, it's not as enjoyable at all when the roof's up. Some people probably like that feeling of being quite closed in. It's not for me. I definitely like having more space around me for visibility and it feeling a bit brighter in the driver's seat. But overall, it's just a pleasure to drive. Let's knock it back into second now and just, like, it just puts a smile on your face. It's just lovely. Let's try this handling out. Beautiful. I love the noise it makes as we change gear, a little rumble there. Okay, I think that pretty much sums this car up for video number 1, that is. If you want some more detailed videos, then please do leave a comment. Any particular topics you want me to talk about in the car, anything you want me to show more. I haven't shown you the boot, so let me know if you'd like to see the boot in a video. I always leave them wanting more, that's what they say, isn't it? I need to go inside and drink something warm and maybe put a dressing gown on and warm up from this freezing cold car. I should have worn more layers, I didn't do that, that's my bad. But I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about this car with me today and me revealing the car that's been in our garage. I think I gave a little teaser in a video recently, a little teaser of what was underneath the covers, but very happy to finally be showing you. If you enjoyed it today, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you very soon in the next Lucy on Cars. Goodbye.